Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have never seen a hot take before, well, as we're a few friends, get in a basement. We like to give our thoughts, give our opinions on a TV show, movie, or a game. Today, it's going to be a game, and that game is Borderlands 4. Here to discuss, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, Borderlands? More like, I'm Borderlands. No, what's going on? How's it going? Yeah.
I'm doing swell. And, going off that note, Trio, you played this game, but you didn't. You returned it.
I did.
After a few hours. So let's start with you, Trio.
Yeah.
What did you think of your few hours with Borderlands 4? Why did you bring it back? And go into whatever you needed to go into.
So there's a few, of course. There's a few kind of key things here. Mostly, I wanted to play it. I think it actually kind of turned me around in the marketing. At first, I was like, this is kind of more like Borderlands, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But as the marketing progressed and I saw more like gameplay, I was like, oh, this looks interesting. They started talking about the different direction for the story, less toilet humor, all of the, well-documented issues with Borderlands 3 seem to have been relatively well-addressed story-wise, so that was nice to see. So I thought I'd pick it up in this very, saturated market that we are in at the moment. I gave it some time. I have it on my PS5 Pro. I was running into a fair bit of technical issues, like textures weren't popping in, enemies weren't registering me, like when I'd get into an area. Just kind of some quality of life issues where I was like, okay, this is kind of frustrating.
The game at launch was very rough.
A lot of stuff
for a lot of people.
And then we saw Randy Pitchford, of course, on Twitter trying to like individually defend that to everyone. He is really his own worst enemy in a lot of ways.
I think he's Gearbox's worst enemy.
For sure. Absolutely. And that doesn't help its case. But either way, I just started experiencing these issues. I was like, the world's kind of big. I have a lot to play right now. You know what? I bought it from Target. You get a full refund there if you bring it back within like a month. It was like, within the week. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to return this. I have plenty to get back to right now. I will eventually, I think, get to Borderlands 4. It's already been on sale too, so that's a little bit more
recently we had a
interesting,
bigger-ish sale.
Yeah, it was like, I think 20 bucks 30, off. Yeah, which is pretty good. But yeah, I think, from a gameplay perspective, it impressed me from the start. It looks great. It feels good. The loot is, a very good driving force in the game. Like it's always fun. And it's a looter shooter that cycle is very well known, and that's fine. But I think they take full advantage of it. Yeah, I don't know, Gooch. I think it was an amalgamation of many things that just led me to be like, you know what, I'm going to put this down for now. I think I'm going to get back to it. I see the potential in this. We'll see where it goes from there. But I'm excited to hear what you thought.
So I put like about 60 hours into this game, beat it into the post game, played it fully in co-op. I have not done a single thing alone. Shout out to Kyle Kagel, who a buddy of mine from high school. We've played Borderlands together since the beginning. We played 3 together all the way through and 4.
That's awesome.
So I before I give my opinion, I fully recommend you play this game with another person. I think it's really going to make it a better experience. I feel like the open world design and pretty much just that don't lend to a fun single player experience in my opinion. I'll get to the open world later, but I was thinking about this, coming into this, leading this review and thinking and really thinking like what I feel about this game, because I don't necessarily think it's bad, but I really don't think it's that good either.
Oh, wow.
And I really think this should be the final Borderlands. I think Gearbox needs to move on. The sales keep going down from 1. I don't think any of them have sold as well as the first Borderlands.
Sales too, yeah.
The movie flopped. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands flopped. It's just everything they've put out recently show that Borderlands is not this super powerhouse IP I think Gearbox maybe think it was or thought it was. And I think there is a bit of revisionist history with exactly what Borderlands is.
Sure.
Borderlands 1 to 2 to 3 tonally is very inconsistent. And I think we're used to Borderlands being very immature in its humor, potty humor, fart jokes, dick jokes, things of that nature. And I'm not saying you can't make those, or there's a line. There's a line with that kind of humor.
Fine line.
And I guess positively, Borderlands 4 is, I think, tonally similar to 1. There is jokes, there is a lot of humor, but it's not fart jokes. It's not butt jokes. It's not things like that. There's a few sexual innuendos, of course, but I feel like the writing is much better, but it just feels like they just don't really have the stride anymore. I don't know. Like, I'm playing this game and I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like I feel like Borderlands is just never going to be what it was with that first and second game when it was out at its height. I think a lot of people come back to Borderlands for those 4 characters that you get to pick. And I played as Ama on the Forge Knight, and I really enjoyed his gameplay. Of course, there's the Siren, Rafa, the Exo Soldier.
That's who I played as, for a couple hours.
And then who's the other one? Holy shit, I don't remember. I can't even picture the person. Do they have a pet? I think they might, Trio. I'm buying
Eamon Harlow.
Yes,
the Gravatar.
Yes, I don't even know what she does. I think she has turrets. I think she's focused in like elementals, but yeah, like I don't know. I think the characters are kind of cool, but like again, I don't think that original Berserker, Siren, Hunter, Soldier that, the original set of characters were. I feel like it's like the simplest, but like somehow the most iconic. Because we've gotten we're the Forge Knight, the Exo Soldier. Like, it's not simple anymore. We're getting we're not complex in like a bad way, but like you need to spice it up.
Of course.
And within putting a lot of spices, we're kind of losing the original recipe.
Well, and I think that's kind of a troubling dance you have to do as a developer when you're making this type of game. Like you're saying, those first 4 characters are so iconic that it's like, how do you follow them up? What do you change in order to make them more interesting or different or, to differentiate them? So I don't know. Yeah, I will say all 4 of them didn't strike me too hard when I first saw them. I was like, I guess the Tech Knight, I'll go with him. I think Eamon was probably the biggest standout to me, but I'm like, nah, I don't want to be the big, like, brute guy. I want to be a little more sneaky, so I'll go with the Tech Knight. Yeah, I don't know. I think the designs of them overall look interesting. Yeah. But they definitely, look very modern in the way of like sensibilities and things like that. So I don't know. I think that's, a very rough and kind of, I don't know, tough problem that they have to kind of battle.
But what is good about this game, like you're saying, is the gameplay. Mm-hmm. I think why you're showing up, most people are showing up for the looter shooter, for the FPS, for that gameplay experience. But again, I think people do show up for Borderlands for the characters. I think that's something to have in the back of your head as you're talking and thinking about Borderlands as an IP and the future of it. But it's your same as you experience shooter fare. Yeah. It's not dissimilar from any other Borderlands game you played, but there's a few new different things with the weapons I really like. So we do have 2 new companies, Daedalus and the Order weapons. Daedalus are kind of like your shotgun your gun is like 2 guns in one. Mm. So it's like it can be an SMG and a shotgun. It can be an assault rifle and a sniper. It just has different firing modes.
I see. Okay.
So that's Daedalus's thing. And the Order is like laser charge weapons. And then there's weapon parts. This is totally new to Borderlands. We haven't seen Atlas since Borderlands 1, Hyperion since Borderlands 2, Dahl is gone. Some of the companies have just been retired, probably for gameplay reasons. Like, we want to put new
we
stuff
want to add
in.
new things. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So weapon parts bring back the gun manufacturers that are no longer in the game. So the Atlas guns were known for having a tracker dart and heat seeking. Uh-huh. So your Jacob's gun could have a Atlas part that shoots the tracker beam, and then your bullets will go to it. Oh, so this gets into a lot of M game where there is a shitload you can do with your guns to really like maximize and min max builds, which again isn't really my bag. I looked up I got to 50, we beat the game, then I looked up a build, and now I'm doing like crazy damage. Am I min maxing? No, I don't have all like the accoutrements and everything I need to like really get the power out of that build, but but it's getting me through it. And I wasn't really, when you're leveling in that kind of game, you don't really know where you're supposed to go. Like, you can't really be the best. So you're just kind of like, okay, I like this. I like the shield whip thing. So I was using that, and now I'm using like the fist puncher thing.
The power fist.
Yeah, if you play Eamon in the Forge Knight or you know him, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah,
So-
I think the weapon parts are really cool. I like it. It's just like it's kind of like putting the weapon manufacturer thing on its head a little bit by like implementing all these different features that your old guns had that you retired, but you're bringing them back in a kind of unique way.
It feels like a nice way to spice up the gameplay, especially in that end game, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Like to just add some extra, I don't know, objectives and just ways to spice up the gameplay.
Yeah, your skill trees are the same, and the super badass points that were in 3 are, I think, proficiency. There's a basically like a leveling system once you hit 50, and you slot points into things.
Gotcha.
So that returns.
Okay.
Nothing really new there. But your ordnance works a little different. No longer are rocket launchers guns. That you can slot a grenade for a rocket launcher or a heavy turret or a satchel charge or a throwing knife. They really changed what ordnance means. And I think that's just spicing up gameplay. You know, your satchel charges work different from your Ripper grenades. That's a new company too. That's like the Raiders.
I see.
Or
Okay.
the bandits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, all that to say that Eamon feels great.
Right.
I don't know how you felt about the Exo Knight. But like I liked the play style. I wasn't sure myself. Like I wasn't like really confident like I was. I played Zane in Borderlands 3 and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing Zane.
Did he
And
feel more like a bit more lumbering, would you say? Or does it like
he felt slow to
Yeah.
begin with, but I think that might have been me going from a fast game to
Sure.
a slow game.
Yeah.
And being like, why do I feel so slow? And then I got over it pretty quickly. No, he doesn't really feel that lumbering.
And then you mentioned his like power fist, so all of them have like a special ability, right?
3.
Okay.
So each tree is Eamon has he can throw axes, and then he has a shield which he then like whips. So the shield, like it's like kind of kinetic. You shoot it and then you can like throw it back at
I
them,
see.
pretty
Okay.
much.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like a power fist where like your fist charges up and you like flame on them. Yeah.
on.
So and Kyle played the Siren, so I got to see him play the Siren. And the Siren works a bit differently than it does in the past. It's like phase lock was the pretty infamous ability from 1, but it's really not about phase lock. It's kind of different. I couldn't exactly say exactly how
Sure.
different it is because I didn't play it, but it's not like the stereotypical
Right.
Siren. Again, like we need to spice it up a little bit. I think Gravatar is more like a traditional Siren from 1.
Okay, interesting. So I guess what would you say, if you want to go somewhere specific, please do. But like,
Yeah.
how is the open world treating you in that? Like, do you feel like it's a
Not
little
good.
bland?
Too much.
It did look. That was one thing where I opened
It's-
up the map and I zoomed out and I'm like, you know what? I'll do this later. And that's where
Yeah.
I was like, I'll return this.
we first got in it and I was like, I didn't really know it was open world until we got to the Fadelands, the first zone. And I'm like, oh, wow. Borderlands in its traditional sense has been like linearly open world areas.
Yeah.
Not open world, but like, there's like a path and there's like a lot of those kind of
Was 3 open
separate
world at all?
There was like
Or was it more like Outer Worlds where it's like these like set like these
Yes.
smaller zones?
yes,
Smaller
except you're
zones, yeah.
like you see a town, you zone into the town.
I see. Okay.
You see a different zone, you zone into the different
I
zone.
see, okay.
And it works like that here too, with the zones. Like you don't just walk into the next zone. You
I see.
You load screen into
Right.
it.
Right.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that. There's not a ton of load screens and things like that. But yeah, I was immediately like, all right, here's your quests, here's things on the map to do, traditional open world stuff. And I don't really
Question
think
marks and stuff.
Yeah, I don't really think Borderlands needed that.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't need another open world game. I don't need another open world game for fuck's sake. I feel like we have like one open game world a year, or maybe not even. But like I feel like there's usually like KCD is probably that one for this year that really like it's open
sink your
world,
teeth,
but like
yeah.
they're doing it a bit differently, and it doesn't feel like a Ubisoft open world where I'm hitting all the question marks and like I'm traveling around from point to point and trying to do everything, but there's way too much. There's a lot of collectibles in Borderlands 4. So I feel like trying to 100% a map before you leave is dumb.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
got to
not gonna
save
happen.
some of it for post game.
Sure.
Like, and you'll spend a lot of time in the world if you do that, and I feel like you will burn out, especially by the last 2 zones. So I liked it's Fadelands, Carcadia Burn. Then there's a third one, and then the city. The third one it's a mountainous area.
You got all your biomes covered. Your mountainous, your
yeah,
swampy,
so it's
your desert.
like the Fadelands is like foresty, like jungle-esque. Carcadia Burn is like desert, rocky.
Right. Yeah.
The other one is mountain, way too big for its own good.
Yeah.
I'm like, this map is so big. This is so unnecessary. And then the middle is like your city.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm so burnt out. Like, I just kind of want to fucking beat this game.
Well, and I feel like this year specifically, I think, we were talking about this with some other games, and we'll get into that when we get into those games. But there comes a time where you just get so many open worlds in one year that I do think it starts to burn you out. And I think we've had so many games this year. This has been an insane year, like release-wise.
Yeah.
And I have found myself being like, all right, I sank my teeth into KCD and like really went hard in that. I'm even playing it again right now for the DLC. But it's like, you can only give that much effort to, I feel like, one game a year that you really, really, really enjoy. And then when you get something like Borderlands 4 that comes in, you're like, this is good, but like, do you want to do that?
And I guess to its credit, I'm not playing it every day. I'm playing it like maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And,
Right.
me and Kyle's schedules have to line up. And I think that's to its benefit. And I'm not really itching to play it because, like, I have other games to play.
Right.
So it's kind of nice just having that game that's sort of like on your back burner, like, not on purpose, but that's just the way it is.
Right, yeah.
Like I'm not choosing to do that. Me and Kyle's schedules just
what
have
it
to
is, right.
collide, and it hasn't been that much of a problem where we're going like, we're playing once a week for like an hour. We usually were playing like an hour and a half to 3 hours every session. But yeah, then there was just a point where I'm like, I can't believe we're still like not done.
So,
and each map has like a bad guy, and
Right.
you're going against the bad guy to get to the time.
it seemed very Far Cry to me. Like you have your zone master that you need to go in and kill to clear the zone.
Yeah.
And then one thing I will say, again, about the open world things with us specifically, like I think we have to realize sometimes, and I think we both do, we are a very specific kind of gamer, a very active type of gamer that plays way more video games than probably the average person.
Oh yeah.
And like by a mile. And I don't say that braggingly. I say that probably. It's just
true.
what it's what it is.
If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably not a casual.
I'd assume so. Yeah, I agree.
And like I use casual as a term to mean like somebody who's just playing games,
Like
and
a couple
not,
games a year. You
and
buy
not,
like
and
2 or
not
3.
even involved with conversations or what's
Sure.
going on in the industry. Like
Yeah.
maybe here's a thing or two, and like that's it.
So I'd say, like, as someone who's maybe like, I'd be curious to see someone's opinion who is getting maybe 2 or 3 games a year, and this is one of the 2 or 3 games a year, and if they're like, wow, I love that this game is so big and I get to get so many hours out of it and I really get a bang for my $70 or what have you, or it is more of like a, God, this is so fucking big, I don't want to deal with another goddamn large open world. But I don't know, I just think it's something to definitely keep in mind when you're watching us here. So
yeah, and in terms of like the story, I will give it to them. This is a jumping on point for the series. There are some returning characters, a lot from 3, some from before that. I won't spoil.
sure.
I don't think it's really necessary. And yeah, you get those moments,
Right.
but it's more or less on its own,
Right.
and I think that's to its strength. But like, I don't really care about the timekeeper. I don't really care
Right.
about any of the side characters all that much.
I did
don't-
like his design and like his what's it called, like his mech design, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the order.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the designs or anything like that, but like I'm not attached to any of these characters. And like if you think back, it's not like Borderlands has had any great villains ever, except for Handsome Jack.
Gonna say, that's
Handsome
the
Jack
one, yeah.
is the fucking the diamond in the rough for Borderlands. Like I'm like, who is even the villain of Borderlands 1? Like me and Kyle were talking about, is it like Commandant Steele? Like, is that who the villain is? And I'm like, I'm not even confident about
even know who
that.
that is.
And then 3, it was the Calypso twins with the streamer thing. And they sucked.
Yeah.
So Borderlands has never been known
Notoriously
for
bad.
its villains. So to get a group of villains that are kind of unique in design, but like, not really memorable. None of the side characters are really memorable. I think that's what Borderlands, again, going back to the characters, the main 4 being the selling point, and then like Scooter, Claptrap,
I feel like Moxie, you see usually,
Mr. Torg, Moxie, are what kind of keeps Borderlands in the cultural zeitgeist. If at all.
Sure.
You know, but you know, Moxie returns, of course, and Claptrap is back, and
He's right at the beginning.
a few other characters, but Claptrap's not in it as much as you think.
Well, that's interesting.
And I was like, we haven't heard from Claptrap in like a long time.
Claptrap, where have you been?
Yeah, and you know, I don't really care more or less, but I'm just kind of seeing the IP and everything just kind of wane. I think Gearbox really needs to make an executive decision. I think Randy Pitchford needs to fucking take off this stupid cap that he has
been a
on
whole saga
and be like, we need to just move on and I think do a new IP.
So for those who might have missed it, I'll do a brief recap of the Randy Pitchford issues. At first, you know, did they announce that the game was going to be? No, they didn't.
No,
someone asked.
The price was
still up in the air, and someone like tweeted at Randy and was like, "Randy, please don't make it $80 or like something along that lines." Like, you know, I really. Games are already unaffordable, something to that degree. Like, it would be really appreciated if you could do it for the fans. And then he responded with something like, "Well, if you're a real fan, you'll make it work." And it's like, Randy,
he's not wrong.
Like, I get, like,
he's not wrong. No, like, you shouldn't be saying that.
That's not, like, it's like, I get the thought in your back of your mind.
We
can
like, say that.
Yeah, like, it's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna probably pay what like we're very much in that boat of like, if we want something, we'll most likely pay for it, especially in the gaming world. Like, we're lucky to be in that position. But like, you as a studio head saying that to someone on Twitter or whatever in any type of setting just is not going to look good. And then just when the, you know, technical snafus were happening at launch, people were having major stuff. He was literally like on Twitter, like walking people through like, "Oh, well, let me, you know, tech support you and try, like, have you tried raising this setting?
Maybe
or
your
doing
computer
this
just isn't good."
And the guys, and then a guy like responds to him being like, "Randy, I literally have the top of the line, like everything in my computer and it's not running your game." He's like, "Well, maybe it's your problem." And dude,
not a good look.
That apparently like majorly contributed to their decline in their like PC, you know, sales, PC like version sales, I should say. Platform sales. And, you know, it's definitely not doing as well as they would have wanted. I just was looking up online, you know, Zelnick talked about their like soft sales numbers and stuff.
I started following Alinity Analytics on LinkedIn. Reese,
I saw there.
He was on Sacred Symbols, and he puts out some cool kind of graphics, and one of them was about Borderlands, and like Borderlands 1 was way up on that chart, and Borderlands 4 was all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, it's not good.
And yeah, again, I think Randy Pitchford is like, that conversation about him is a whole other ball game.
Of course.
But like, yeah, I just think Gearbox
I'm sure that
needs
contributed.
to do something else.
Yeah.
I think Borderlands is done, man. I don't think this game is bad, but
it's fine. You need more than fine out of them at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Especially when you have to compete with so many different things on the board. Like,
and especially, I wouldn't say the looter shooter genre is saturated, but it's a more popular genre than it used to be.
For sure, and it's like, but it's also like looter shooters. And correct me, maybe I'm wrong. Like, they feel like more of a multiplayer thing now. Like,
yeah, they're definitely more of a
the
multiplayer
single player.
experience.
Like, this is a co-op game, of course, but like, this is very much a story based single player game. So I don't know if that attracts people or what, and. Do they have like a battle pass or anything for it or anything like that? Or like, are there like, is there like a store that you can buy like skins on and things like that? Or
no,
that actually surprises the fuck out of me.
No,
I'm actually kind of blown away by it.
Yeah, there's the shift keys. That's all, you know, they're like Randy Pitchford like tweets out codes and you like put them in. And like, it's kind of a goofy system once you think about it, but.
That's interesting though to me. I would have really assumed
the DLC. There are 2 more characters coming. They've teased the one. There is DLC coming. They've had like events and things like that. And
I didn't realize did they add characters to other games, older games? I didn't
from
realize
2 on.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah, I think that's like, for me as like a Borderlands casual, I'll call myself. I think I call myself a casual again kind of recently. Like, I don't care about new characters. Unless there's an achievement attached to them, I'm playing one character and that's it.
Right, and like, you'd almost like at that, like, give me all 6 at the beginning. Like, let me try like all.
Yeah,
like,
I'd be interested to see if they launched with more than 4. That's never been done.
Yeah.
But, you know, and they have some DLC planned, which I'm kind of expected. Borderlands 3 had DLC that like was stupid in my opinion. 2 story-based ones, and then they're doing like all these weird fucking modes. It's kind of like, reminds you of like Atomic Heart or something like that, where it's just like, what are these DLC modes? Like, what are we doing here?
I mean, yeah.
Let me check my notes.
Say anything
quick.
else?
I don't have anything else. We talked about open world. We talked about story. I think I dabbled on the writing, but I think the writing is better. It's more in tone with 1. It's not the goofy like meta jokes. There's a crypto joke in the beginning, which I thought was kind of funny. But like it doesn't feel like Borderlands 3 where that like jumped the shark in terms of the writing, and it's like they're streamers, yeah. Like
we're cool and young and hip.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's pretty normal. There are some very cool moments, but I think the game ends like a wet fart.
That's like what Borderlands 1 ends with, right? That's the idea. Or like, was that an issue with any of the other Borderlands? Or that just ends and just ends, right? You
like
can't
you
do
go
anything
into the
else.
vault and like you don't.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, you kill all the villains, you get their little things to go into the timekeeper, and you fight him, and that's it. And he's dead.
And you win.
Yeah.
And do you get into a vault or anything? Is there a vault in this? Are you trying to find a vault?
Yeah, there are vaults. So each zone has their own vaults. You have to find the vault key fragment. Once you have all 3, you go into the vaults, and there's 3 bosses. They're kind of fun.
Are they? Okay.
I think they approaching the story where you're not just going after a vault, I think was
makes sense.
Interesting and better, because it's like in all of them you're always going after a vault.
Yeah.
How many times are we going to do this, right? Yeah. We're vault hunters, I get it, but they kind of took it from a different direction, which I can appreciate. But yeah, are you going to remember the story? No.
Negative. Yeah.
No.
That's a negative, partner. Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like a lot of give and take on this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it at a full $70 price tag?
I think if you're a Borderlands fan, sure.
Okay.
And I really think, like, if you're on the fence about this game and you're watching this and you're still on the fence, I think you need to get somebody to play it with. So I would recommend you, Trio.
Maybe I'll have Super buy it or something.
Recruit somebody to play it with you, because, like, I could just see you getting it on sale and playing halfway through and dropping it.
Yeah.
Like
whereas having that person does kind of make you a bit more accountable, if you will, of like getting on with them.
Not even accountable, but I think the game is a co-op multiplayer experience.
It's a better experience.
That's how you're supposed to play it. And that's why I chose to do that. I didn't do that with 2 or 1, but like that was a different time.
No, for sure. I mostly played those games single player too. So I don't know. I do think like it felt fine enough to play in single. Like I think I would have continued to play it if I wasn't having all of those technical issues and I didn't have so much around it at the time.
Yeah, I had a funny feeling I don't know. Like, because I think the zone, like, if you really were to ignore everything and just do main story, like,
there's so much. Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. You're ignoring, like, a lot of the game just to, like, mainline
just to
it. And it's like, I don't know.
Some people like to do. I don't usually like to do that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And even I'm like, it's funny. I like almost want to do that with Ghosts of Yotei, but my body won't let me. Yeah. I'm like, I have to do everything.
Yeah, I'm approaching the end of that game, so I was wrong. There is a zone for the spider and the dragon we were talking about yesterday.
I thought, I was guessing.
Yeah, it's all the way down south. I forgot about it, but it's smaller. But I'm just like. Yeah, I didn't.
We'll get into that when we get into the review. I like that approach better, but again, I think I'm just a little open worlded out by the end of this year to a degree. But we'll talk about that on
like overall. It's not just this year, man.
No, I mean I
feel like anytime an open world comes out, there's like a collective.
It depends for me. It really does.
Even like Outer Worlds, which I'm actually really loving.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a 60+ hour game
for sure, but that doesn't feel as overwhelming to me, especially with the zones. Like there's just certain, for me, again, I can only speak for me. I think settings add to it. If we've been to this setting a lot, like I think that's a problem with Yotei for me, like the physical and historical setting of it. And then like, I don't know, I'm jumping into, Outer Worlds and I just don't feel that type of drag. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I think it's possibly because it is a little less overwhelming open world.
One thing I noticed in like the last session we were playing Borderlands, I'm like, Borderlands has always been this like, we're in like some sort of like arid kind of environment, and
like a wasteland, Mad Maxy almost. It almost
and there's like huts and like scrap heaps everywhere.
Right.
And I'm like, why does it have to be like that?
Well, that felt like the original. That felt like it felt like Mad Max, the first Borderlands, definitely. Like that felt like the clear kind of inspirational draw, at least retrospectively for me.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
like
absolutely.
Now it's kind of evolved more, and we've gotten off Pandora, and we're seeing like more of the galaxy.
Yeah, getting off Pandora. I didn't even mention that we aren't on Pandora. We're on.
Are all of the other games on Pandora? I thought 3 wasn't.
3 is on Pandora and Promethea. What's the name of the planet in this game? Not Arcadia. That's. You want to Google it? It's gonna kill me. Maybe it is Arcadia.
Now Arcadia, I think, is in.
It's Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
What is it?
Borderlands 4 setting. Come on. It's bringing me the settings.
Borderlands 4 Planet.
That's what I should write, yeah. It's like giving me the settings to use.
Yeah.
Kairos,
yes, Kairos. Yeah, and it doesn't feel like you're on Pandora. I will give that to its credit. It does feel like you're on a different planet. It does feel different, but there is some, again, the arid scrap heap town with a bunch of like, the raiders with the midgets and the small arms, like they're back, and
I don't think dwarfs, I believe, is the correct term.
Whatever. They don't call them midgets anymore in the game. Yeah, they never address.
I think
that.
that's actually.
But they still,
stop saying the word.
And there's some with no legs too.
Oh,
and they're like crawling around.
I saw. Yeah, they're like walking on their hands. That's pretty. There's some fun enemy designs in these games. I will give them that for sure.
But it's politically correct now, Drew.
Never mind. Actually, never mind. Anyways, let's go. Anything else?
On that note, no, that's all I got. I think Borderlands 4 is a game for Borderlands fans and people who want a fun co-op experience. But
to me,
be careful. It's got some wear.
I don't want to put a number in your mouth, but it sounds like a solid 7. In that, like a 7.5.
Sure.
Based on the way you've described it. Like, it's like, it's good. It's fine.
6s are good. 6 and 7s are good.
I would say
I
6.
like a good 6.
6 is going on bad for me. If I see a 6, I'm like, ooh. But if you're at a 7, I'm like, all right, I'll take a solid 7.
That's another.
But that's again, I didn't want to put numbers in your mouth. So
no. Like a 6 is technically like not bad.
I know what you're saying. I know you're right. But in my mind, for some reason,
that's why we don't do scores.
Right, exactly. Anyways, anything else, Gooch, on Borderlands?
That's
fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you all for watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really do appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network on your service of choice. We got a Facebook page, Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below for you. We're at Delco Nerds on everything with an @ on the social medias. You can find this all this information on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to DelcoNerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy. We will see you next time.